Hi there and welcome back. In the previous videos, we talked about the different drawing tool commands and modify tool commands. Although there are still much things to learn and explore on your own, I believe that what we have discussed so far are enough for us to be able to work on a couple of our drawing exercises. Specifically, drawing exercise 1 to maybe drawing exercise number 4, 5, and 6. So in this video, we'll be doing a tutorial for our drawing exercise 1. This drawing exercise consists of two parts. So we have part one in this, maybe in this video or in this screen, or I mean shown here, and then part two on the next, maybe next video, or if you still have time, then next drawing template. Okay, so before we start, I just would like to make some important points before we do the drawings. So first one is, because we have different tools available for us, from the drawing tools and modify tools, then that means that to be able to accomplish one of the drawings or the drawings or drawing activities, then that means that there are many ways, combination of those tools, that can do the job. Okay, so I repeat, there are many ways to be able to do the job using a combinations of the different drawing tools and modify tools. But there are ways that maybe fast, but you need to make some analysis. Then some ways may be slower, but it is, I mean, less analysis. Okay, and another point is, if we have, if we are given with these activities, drawing activities, you have to check first. I mean, don't rush right into the drawing tools. Just take time to analyze the given activity. So analyze in terms of, it must have a shape and the dimensions and nodes if applicable. So shape refers to the form of the object. So based from that form, then we can know which tools will be appropriate or applicable. So for example, here probably the lines or the polylines, that's enough. And also check the dimensions. And when I say dimensions, we refer to linear dimensions, such as this 13 in the vertical and 13 here in the horizontal, or 44 horizontal. So those are linear dimensions, and also the angular dimensions. So right here we have 30 degrees. So it's in red because it's not added in our it's not added in our file, so please include this. It must be 30 degrees. Okay, and also check which point are you going to start, because to start a line, you must specify the starting point. So where will I start? Shall I start here and go down, or shall I start here and go left? Okay, so because sometimes the dimensions are not complete, because maybe it is intended or it is to be exact, because sometimes multiple dimensions gives rise to conflicts. Okay, so if I go down, I don't have the dimension, so it's not the good starting point. But rather, I think for me, I will start here. I will start in this point, and then go to the left, and then go up, then go this slant, and also go 28, or maybe extra, I don't know, or maybe I'll start here, maybe 13. I start here and then go to the left, 13, go down, go to the right, down again, and left. So that's what I'm going to do. I mean, based on my analysis. Okay, so I think that's all for the notes. Then maybe we can get started drawing. Okay, so we are going to draw this object first. Okay, so I will start here at this point and then go to the left, because we have this given dimension. So 13, 13, 13, 13. 44, 31, then use the given length and angle for the line. Alright, so let's try. Alright, so I press line command. The shortcut is L, or you can click this. So 13, right? So 13, so L, so 13, I'll type 13, and also press, sorry, I forgot to say, you have to press your ortho mode. Press this on because you can see that the lines are orthogonal. That means there is, I mean, much of the lines are along the x-axis, like this, the 44, the 13, 13, and 28. They are along the x-axis, and we also have lines along the y-axis. So press this on, the ortho mode on, or press F8. Then if it is on, then let's start the line command. So line, then I'll type 13, and then go downward 13, and then go here 13, and then 13 again, 44 to the left, and then 31 upwards. Okay, so from here we have a line that has a length and an angle. So I'll type the length. So I'll type at 19, and then the angle is 30. Okay, and then I'll um, I'll type 28. Right. Okay, so what will happen to the line, to this line? So I'll just press line again. By the way, when you exit a command, then you can just press enter, or if you want to clear, just press escape. Right, so escape to clear the existing commands, or to make sure that you have cleared the existing command. Okay, so another one, line, then I'll start here and then go up. Okay, so you will notice that there is an intersection here. So that means that if we want to follow a 28 dimension here, then that means that we have to um, somehow adjust this line. But that will violate the length of this, because this one is given, I mean, this dimension is given, this is 13. But if we want to follow this, then we have to trim this extra lines here, but that will violate the dimensions here. Alright, so in this exercise, um, we'll just trim this. That simply means that the given dimensions are conflicting. Okay, so that's why there are rules for dimensionings. You can't just give everything, because sometimes it will just lead to conflicts. Right, so what we'll do is we'll make a line from this point to here, and then trim the type TR, or just select the trim here in the modify tools, press enter, select objects to trim. So I'll just select this, then select this, and then enter, press enter, enter, or escape to exit the command. Right, so that's it. Okay, so now let's put dimensions. Now if you notice here that we have a lines that is actually a thicker lines as compared to the dimensions, so that will lead us to this layer section. So the layers is that I can make one layer for the visible lines, and I can make another layer for the dimensions and change its color. Right, so for the layer properties, so you have to click this layer properties, click this. So for me, I have already included a layer for dimensions, but to create a layer, so click this, it says new layer. So if you click this, so you'll see the layer name, it's right, so you'll see the layer name is layer 1, so you have to rename it into, let's say, dimensions. Sorry. You can also delete layers if it doesn't include any objects. Right, so again, new layer, and then type the name of the layer, just type dimensions. Right, for me, I'll type it dimensions 2, for example, because I have already a layer name that's dimensions. But for you, just type dimensions and then press enter. Okay, so in that layer, you can actually turn the layers on and off later on, because when the drawings, I mean, if the objects in the workspace are too messy, then these layer tools, um, they are actually um, helpful, right? So you can change here the that layer properties. You can change the drawings, I mean the lines of that objects, let's say blue or maybe violet. Okay, and you can also change the line type, if it is continuous or if it is broken lines. So we'll discuss that later. Also, you can change the line weight. So by default, I think the default is 0.009. So you can just um, do that. or, or maybe I think I should delete everything, because so that we can start from scratch. Alright, so we'll delete this. I'll bring this back to the default. Right, so I'll delete this. So oh, okay, so I guess I have this. Okay, so dimensions. So I think that's enough already. Dimensions. Then color, line type continuous, and the line weight is default. Okay, and then next is let's create. I'll delete this for now. So now let's create a layer for the visible lines. So click new and then type visible lines, right, and then press enter. And also for the color, let's just make it white, and then for the line weight, let's make it thicker, maybe point 0.5, and then press OK. Okay, so um, we will put these objects in the visible lines, I mean in the layer visible lines, right? So select the objects. So recall that we can do selection from left to right or right to left, right? So from left to right, and then click visible lines. So now press escape. If you click on this layer, you will see that this is already in the visible lines there. So all the objects that you have selected are already in the visible lines. Okay, so now we'll do dimensionings. So click this layer and then uh, select this dimensions, and then we'll do dimensionings. So in the dimensionings, we will use this section, annotation section, in the home tab. So if you click this arrow button down, you can see if we want an aligned dimensions and angular dimensions, radius. So it's all here, right? So we'll do that. First, I'll do the 13, the 44, the 31, 28, all the linear dimensions. That's not diagonal. Okay, so I'll click this, then linear. So you see in the status bar says specify first section line. So first point. So first point would be here, and then second point is I'll select this, right, and then just drag maybe down or up, but in terms of dimensioning rules, and that's downward. Then press enter again for that same command. If we want the same command, just press enter. Okay, so specify starting point and then second point, right, 44. And then what else? You notice, by the way, that in dimensionings, this one should not cross this. This shorter dimension should not cross these longer dimensions. So that's why I selected this 13 dimension first. Is again press the line commands and then this. So just put dimensions to everything where you need it. And this one. Okay, so because we trimmed this, so that is 22.55. Okay, next is how do we make dimensions for the diagonal? So that's gonna be aligned. So again, check this, specify first line origin. So it's the first point. So here's my first point, and this is my second point. Okay, so if we use these linear dimensions, then what you get is actually this or that. So what we want is this diagonal, so that's why. Okay, and then next one is let's put an angle. For the angle, or maybe this and that. So it's actually the same thing. If this is 30, it's actually the same thing. Or so maybe I'll just first line and then second line. First line and second line. So I'll just put it here. Right. Okay, so there we go, and we are done with the first object. Okay, so I'll move it maybe here for now. So the next one is this. Okay, so analyze again. Maybe I'll start all the dimensions are given. This one, the length and the angle is given also, so that's fine. But right here we don't have this given length, right? We only have the given angle but no given length. So maybe I'll start maybe here and then go to the right. Okay, so I'll go to the right and then go down left. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. So command tool is line, so select first point, and then ortho mode is on. So going to the right, I'll type 17 for the length, and you notice that I'm in dimension layer, but that's fine. I will just change that later. Okay, so go down 25 and then go 13 to the right, sorry, to the left, and then go 13 downwards, and then go 19 to the left, and then I'll type at 25. That's the length, but take note that the angle must be from the 0 axis, so it must be here. So I must, or maybe I'll try negative 45. We'll see. Alright, so at 25, so at 25 angle negative 45. Okay, so that's not the case. Okay, so let me explain this. So the 0 degrees must be starting from if this is the origin, the 0 degrees must be starting here. So we must make our measurement from 0 up to this line. So the complete angle is 180, right? So if we want this angle from 0 to this, then that should be 180 minus 45, and that is 135. Okay, so again, if this is my origin, this will be the 0 line. So from 0 to this line, to this blue line right here, that's 180. So I have to subtract 45 degrees, so that is 135. So the 135 degrees is from this line to this diagonal line. Okay, so again, so type L for the line, and then specify is our first point, and then I'll type at 25 angle 135. Right, so there we go. Okay, so again, let me explain this. If I want this angle from here to this, that is 135. the given angle is from this line to this, that is 45. So that's why we use analysis 180 minus 45. We get that 35. Okay, so continuing now, line commands. So starting point, and then I'll type 13 and then 25 to the right. All right, so right here is we can um, we can just do this. Maybe I'll just extend this and then click, extend it in whatever length, assuming that it will um, exceed this line. Okay, so I'll press enter, and then if you click this line, I will just rotate this 45 degrees. Right, so 45, so it's the same. Maybe um, it doesn't matter if it's in the vertical or horizontal, as long as 45, so that's fine. So type RO for the rotate, or click the RO command, and then select object, select base point, and then rotate. Now if I rotate, then if I'm rotating counterclockwise, clockwise, if I'm rotating uh, clockwise, that means from here to there, that will be negative. All right, but if I'm rotating from here or counterclockwise, that will be positive. Right, so I want this line, so therefore the angle is negative 45. So the angle is negative 45. Okay, so again we have some conflicting dimensions, so I'll just extend this. I will just extend this line, or let me change this, select objects, change it to visible lines. Right, so extend, so I'll type EX, or you can select here, extend, so EX, enter, and then select the line. Okay, and then trim this remaining line, so trim, so I'll just type TR for trim command, and then select the object or portion of the object to trim. Okay, so if there's nothing else, then press enter. Okay, so that's it. So I think maybe we should correct the dimensions now. So let's put dimensions. So in the layer, select layer, dimensions layer, and press this dimension. We have to select linear dimensions, and then let's now put dimensions in our object. So 25, also 13, so 13, then what else? Here is 19, then we also have this, and then what else? The diagonal dimensions. Okay, and the angle. So for the angle, so select this and that. So that is 135, but I specified 45 so that we can do some analysis. Right, I'll just need to extend this so that they will not cross each other. Okay, and then next one is this and here. So this is 45, right? 45. So you can just specify it here and put it outside. Okay, so that's our second object. Okay, next one is, let's do our third object. I'll go back to my visible line layers, and then let's analyze this first. Now, as you can see, we have 50 and 50. So we have a rectangle, actually. So if I have a rectangle, then we'll just make lines and then rotate it at 75, and then also here make lines from the midpoint to this, and somehow maybe do some trims later. Okay, so click this drawing tool command rectangle. So it creates a rectangle. You need to specify the point 1, so one of the edge or corner points, and then the opposite edge. So you notice this opposite edge right here, the 2. Okay, so click this and then say specify first corner point. So I'll start here. Okay, so the next point, or actually here in the drawing we have this changing dimensions. So I'll just say 50. I'll type 50. Okay, let me do that again. So control type U to undo and then enter. Okay, again. So specify first point 50 and then press tab to change the um, the line. So I mean the dimensions. So press 50 again. So I think that is too big. Anyway, I think the scale is not just the same. So that's 50 by 50. Okay, next is I'll make a line from the midpoint and then extend it over the horizontal line and then rotate it later. So this line, ortho mode, I'll turn it on. So ortho mode. Okay, so that's my extended line. Notice that the starting point is the midpoint. Okay, next is I'll make a line from this or from this point, then extend it upward. Okay, and then rotate it. We'll do the rotation. So type RO or click the RO command here, then select object, and then if there's nothing to select, press enter, select base point, and then rotate. So in my rotation, so you notice that my rotation is counterclockwise, right? So if that is counterclockwise, that will be negative. Sorry, my rotation is clockwise rotation, right? So that is clockwise rotation. So that should be negative. So I'll type negative 30. So there we go. And then here, if we rotate this, so select object, and then select the base point. So my rotation is also clockwise, so that will be negative. Right, so if negative, so you have to subtract this, the angle from this black horizontal lines to this blue line, the total angle is 90. So 90 minus 75, that will be 15. Right, so again, type RO, select objects, then enter and type negative 15, negative 15. Okay, so there we go. You can also do a line horizontal and then rotate it. Let's say, then rotate it. Okay, RO, rotate it 75 degrees. So that's the same. Okay, so once we're done, then we'll do the trim. So type TR or press the trim command and then select objects to trim or portion of the objects to trim, and there we go. Then press enter. Okay, next make dimensions. So change the layer to dimensions and put linear dimensions. This is 50. This is also 50. And now let's do the angles. So select and also this. Okay, so for our fourth object, so we notice again that we have this 50-50 dimension, so we can go back again to the visible lines layer, then press this rectangle. Actually, you can also do this using polylines or lines. Okay, so specify first corner point. So this is 50. Sorry. Let's delete this. So rectangle, first corner point is 50, and then press tab for the second dimension, so 50. Okay, so there it is. And then we have a curved corner here and a chamfered corner here. So this one is fillet tools and this one is chamfer tools. Okay, so press this fillet, or you can type, I think you can type F. Then let's specify the radius first. So type or click this, that's the same. So I'll type or. Then says in the status bar specify fillet radius. Oh, this is 20, so type 20 and then select first object. So we need the first object or first line and then this line. Okay, so there we go. And then next is chamfer tools. So for the chamfer tools, select the chamfer or maybe CH. Let's try chamfer. CHA. So chamfer and then specify distance. So take note that the distance will matter. I mean, first distance to second distance. So if I make this as my first distance, this will be my first object. Okay, so I'll type 30 and then next is specify second chamfer distance. I'll type 15. Now press enter. It says here select first line. So the first line should be the line corresponding to this 30 units. So this will be my first line and this will be my second line, and there we go. Okay, and lastly we'll put dimensions, right? So dimensions, linear dimensions again. So from this, so I'll make sure that this should be the endpoint, right? So there is my 50 unit dimension, and this one also the 15 or the chamfer distance, and this, and then the radius, right? Okay, so there we go. And then we'll just have to move the objects, arrange the objects. Okay, so when we move, so press or click this move commands or press M, then press enter, select objects, specify base point. So there we go. Okay, back again. So move, I have to include this 30 degrees. Okay, and then move, enter. So you can just move it anywhere and then paste it in our template, right? So that's it. Okay, so I think that's all for our part 1 of the drawing exercise number 1. So let's do the next part in the next video.